A Merry Christmas Eve to you guys. Welcome to Fantasy Football G. I'm your host, Kat. Saka is out and everybody is scrambling to find out who is the best replacement. But this opens up a lot of opportunities around the team because he will give us a lot of money. So we're going to be looking at best Saka replacements, but along with best defense and attacking options as well for your game week 18 transfers. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys. Now, because I am the man, I'm doing nothing but hooking you up with the best of um, differentials. Everybody I'm about to refer here is a differential except for one. So this is going to be one hell of a show, and we're going to start off in the defense. I've got 3 referrals for you guys, and we're going to talk about Ina. Very good defensive player, in a defensive team as well. I think that's something that we all have come to terms with now. Nottingham Forest, despite the games they've had as well, they still had a good game against Brentford, and Ina's been attacking as well. I think we've noticed him. He got a good return in this past game week, which I think has really put us on his radar, and that's why he's gone up in price by 0.1. I think he's continuing to go up as well. You can see his ownership as well is still under 20%, but I think he is definitely a good player to go for, considering his team is really good in defense. They're going to be playing Tottenham, and then they're going to be playing Everton and also Wolves, which I think are actually great defensive fixtures for them. So I think Aina is definitely a good pick to go for. Milinkovic as well, if you want to. I think Aina for me more so because he's also good for bonus points, and he gets a lot into those attacking positions. I mean, Milinkovic is definitely an attacking threat when it comes to set pieces, because he can definitely get into the box and get on the end of those headers. But we all know Aina gets really involved into play, and that's why his bonus point system tally is also very high. So I will go more so for Aina than Milinkovic in that case. So that's my verdict there with first defender. Let's move on to my next defensive transfer target for game week 18, and that is Daniel Munoz, who's back from suspension. A man who's in form before his suspension. In all honesty, a very good attacking threat. Only 2.6% own and is 4.7 price. I think he's definitely the way that Palace is playing right now, along with Ismail Assar on that right-hand side. I think he's definitely a great attacking threat. He's getting into the box as well. So we're looking for players and defensive players, especially because clean sheets are hard to come by. Players who can definitely get an attacking return as well. And I think Daniel Munoz is definitely one of those players. So great fixtures coming up as well. Bournemouth maybe might not be the best entry point, but he's got Southampton after that. Yes, Chelsea, but following a few other fixtures as well after that, which are really great for them. So I think Daniel Munoz is definitely going to be a great player to bring in for the next few fixtures as well. My next one is going to be Josko Vardio. Now, I think I mentioned him in my transfer plans. I just think that the fixtures are really good. He might not be informed, the team might not be informed, but I think the teams that they're going up against aren't necessarily attacking threat. Maybe West Ham does have a bit of an attacking threat, more so than Everton and Leicester. But I think this is a great opportunity, not only for a clean sheet, but also for attacking return for him as well. Hasn't been assisting, but he's definitely been scoring, which I think is even a bonus. And we all know that he can definitely assist. So I think Josko Vardio is a great Man City pick if you're looking to get into that Man City good fixture run from my side. And I think more so than Rico Lewis, really, as much as Rico Lewis is a cheaper option, he's not a bad option if you don't have the money. I just wish we got those City leagues that we used to get. So if you don't have the money, yes, sure, you can go to a Rico Lewis, but I think a Gvardiol is going to be a lot more valuable, if you ask me. And now we're going to go on to the Saka replacements. But before we do that, I do want to ask you guys to please hit that like button if you're liking the content, and of course course, subscribe. I'm here every week giving you guys 2 to 4 pieces of content throughout the week on FPL. So really, really would appreciate the support. And I want to say thank you, a real thank you to everybody. If you could really help me for Christmas, I would just love an extra 10 subscribers, and I'll truly be thankful to you guys. So let's try and hit that subscribe button. Now, the first person I think is on everybody's mind is Ismail Assar, a man in form. And I keep saying this, if there's anything that I've noticed this specific season, and it changes from season to season, but form is over fixtures. So despite the fixtures, form, if the person's in form, they are a good pick. And Ismail Assar is in form. Scored 17 points against Bournemouth, 7 points against Arsenal, a very good defensive team. Going up against Bournemouth, and he's just going to go up against Southampton. He's got some other great fixtures after Chelsea as well. I think he's a great pick. Only 1.4% on a real differential. So somebody who's definitely a good option to go for. I don't think it's anything you guys really need to think about. Going on to another very big differential, which I don't think we're all thinking about, but he's in really good form, and the team is also in form, is Jacob Murphy. I think we'll start off with more the negative. Yes, minutes are a big question, but we cannot deny his form. 7 points, 13 points, 13 points against teams with, yes, bad defensive qualities, but he's been there. He's been getting into the box. He's been getting those returns, assists and attack as well, and he's in that front three. So I think if you're looking for a really cheap person and you didn't get onto those Enzo and Ahmad options, then I think you can still get a Jacob Murphy at 4.9, only 1.6% owned. I think they can definitely do something against Aston Villa at home. They always perform at home. Man United's defense, as well as a Tottenham defense, we all know is not necessarily sound. So I think there's still a lot more that Newcastle can do, despite the fixtures not looking all so that easy compared to their previous run that they've just come out of. So Jacob Murphy, definitely a good option there if you're looking for a cheap one and you haven't got Ahmad or Enzo. And then hopping on, still staying with Newcastle, we have to say Gordon is still an option, guys. Returned in both those two good fixtures. It's just, even without Isak there, he's he would be on penalties, he's on set pieces as well. So I don't think it's somebody that we can ignore. I think he's definitely a good option to come down from Saka. So I would still go for him. 9.3% owned, still a good differential, and is highly involved in the play as well, the attacking play as well, both just outside the box and inside the box. So I wouldn't go against it. I think it's team dependent from you guys. Let me go through who my last option is, and then I think I'll give you placements in terms of 1, 2, 3 who I would go for in my transfer targets to replace Saka. My next one is a Bruno Fernandes. Again, I think just like Gordon, is not somebody we can really ignore. You can see this guy's return against a lot of teams. I think he's had about 5 returns in 7 games ever since the change of manager. So I think we've got the old Bruno back, and I think that's something we can't ignore and we shouldn't ignore. And it tends to really happen with us in the FPL, where somebody's just returning after return after return, and we're like, nah, I'm not going to continue it. But this is Bruno. We all know that he can actually make these type of returns week in, week out. He's got great fixtures coming up against a Bournemouth and a Wolves. Not Bournemouth, Wolves. And then he's got Newcastle, and then he's got Liverpool, but fixtures after that as well, still looking good. So I think he's still good to have even in the tough fixtures. Not to say that he's fixture proof, but he's on penalties, he's on set pieces, he's going to be involved, whether it's a tough fixture or not. The team, yes, fine, is questionable, but I mean, it's Bruno Fernandes, guys, and he's ticking along very well. So I would take those 9 points, which is what he's been getting. 6 points, 9 points, 9 points, 6 points, 9 points. I'd take that any day, honestly, really would. So if you were to ask me, one, two, three, I put Sa one because I think he opens up a whole lot of money for you to be able to do a lot of different moves. Like even defensively, if you want to go after Trent, you can do that. If you want to go after Guardiola, you can do that when you have Ismail Assar. Then straight after that, I would go Bruno number two. Because if you're looking for a talisman in the team like Saka was, who's also on penalties, um, who's on set pieces, where everything almost goes through him, then definitely Bruno Fernandes is the one. Then if you're looking for somebody whose team is just in form, they're still definitely going to perform, and he's still highly involved, might not necessarily be on set pieces or anything. I think the safe pick is Gordon to go for in terms of a replacement. So it's Sa first, Bruno Fernandes second, and Gordon third there. Moving on to the strikers, Havertz. Havertz because I think let's go first. Let's start over here first. I think that's where we should start off, right? Let's start off by saying we all should have Isak or Jackson or both. And I wanted to show this graphic because some of us have one, some of us have both. I am aiming to have both, of course. I think you know what my transfer plans are, which I'll definitely be making. And then if you're stuck and you sort of want to only have one, Fancy Football Hub comparison tool is really favoring, I think, if I'm more of the points person, is favoring Isak, which I totally get because he's on penalty as well. He's on penalties as well. I think his team really feeds him well, and I think he's a lot more clinical than Jackson as well. You know, despite Jackson having better fixtures, in my opinion, over the long run, Isak is still predicted to have more points than him in that fixture run. So yeah, it's more Isak more than Jackson, and I would go for that because I feel again Isak is in better form than Jackson is right now currently. It's not, although Jackson is ticking along very well, I just feel like Isak is in form, bro. You know, and form beats fixtures this season so far. So if you're looking to have one, I would go Isak. He's priority first, and then Jackson. But like I said, if you can have both, of course, hell man, definitely go for it. Then the question really becomes, who is that third striker? Now, if you're looking to go differential, this is when I go back to Kai Havertz, and I say differential because remember, if you're going to have one, fine, go for Isak. And then if you're going to go differential, not have a Jackson, then I think Kai Havertz is definitely somebody that you could have because I think Arsenal's gotten themselves back into that groove of being able to score from open play, and we've seen that in both Crystal Palace games. And in the second game, it was with Saka coming off in the 22nd minute, so round in the 20th minutes. So I think they've definitely shown that they can do it without Saka, and I think one of the people who will be involved in goals and scoring them is definitely a Kai Havertz. Minutes-wise, he's definitely secure, and he's a differential at only 10% owned. So I think Kai Havertz is honestly a great pick, considering that goals have to be scored, and I think those goals he'll definitely be in those people scoring or contributing to goals. So that's where my thought is with Kai Havertz. Now I can't ignore Jesus, who is another transfer target for a lot of people. He's already risen in price. He's been scoring, I would say, in form in terms of not necessarily the league, but as much as he scored 2 goals in the past game. But just in general, because he also scored against Crystal Palace. He had a hat-trick against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. So with Saka out, Arteta has played Gabriel Jesus on the right, but remember, Jesus has got those goals playing through the center, and Kai Havertz playing in that left 8 role next to Martinelli. And I just feel like with Saka out now, and this is just me, I think he might move more so to the right more than anything. And I only say this because I think Kai Havertz is going to play that number 9 role. I think Arteta prefers him over Jesus. Now, Arteta does reward form, that's 100% for sure. But I just feel like Havertz is Arteta's boy, and I think the team will most likely look like a Havertz and 9 with the Jesus on the right and a Martinelli on the left, or a Trossard. And then that frees up that left 8 role to be played by either a Marino or a Declan Rice, which is what I feel Arteta prefers. Um, yeah, I don't think Arteta really loves having Havertz in that 8th role, in second 8th role next to Martin Odegaard, and that's why I just feel like Jesus on the right isn't necessarily all that great. He's always involved, and we're always going up on that right hand side, definitely. But is he gonna be that guy at the end of the ball where it's that last, man to take the shot? I don't know. I feel like he'll be the pass before the goal in that case. So that's why I'm a bit wary on him. But he's definitely a good transfer, and I think his minutes increase with Saka being out, definitely, and the fact that we've got fixtures coming back to back. So that's my thought on him. Differential as well, 4.1 owned, growing quick in price. So I think the choice is really up to you, but I say he's not a bad pick. He's not a bad pick based on the situation that Arsenal are in right now. Now, another surprising transfer target that I have for you guys is a John Duran. You can see there against Southampton, against Man City, against Nottingham Forest, he's returned in all 3 games, and in all 3 games his minutes have been above 50. So I feel I didn't see properly, but I think he started all 3 of those games, or he came on, because in the Southampton game I think he had 57 minutes, and then both in the Nottingham Forest and the Man City game he had over 60 minutes, over 70 minutes, and in all 3 of those games he scored. Now, it's putting pressure on Unai Emery to, rather than having him just sub, to actually start, because he's starting and he's scoring. So with games coming back to back, I think that he's definitely an option that you can go for if you're looking for a differential for a third striker. And that's why I've put him on here, because he'll be a third striker. Now, without a doubt, this is me pointing out differentials, remember. I think if you want to go for a safe pick, I actually think that Wood is the safe third pick. If you're going for a front 3 of Jackson, Isak, then that third striker for me is a Wood, 100%. But again, this is me trying to put out differentials to you guys so that I can help you guys gain. I think that John Duran is that man. So I think he's really that man. At 5.9, I think that's not so bad. I don't think that's really bad. He's scoring. He'll definitely score even if he comes in as a substitute. Fixtures are looking good, really, honestly, even after Newcastle. I think Brighton's not necessarily defensively sound. You got Leicester. Yeah, man. I think it's a good pick. But I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section. If there's anybody I haven't mentioned, you can ask me a question and I'll let you know my thoughts on them and whether or not I think they're a good pick for Game Week 18. But please hit that like button and of course subscribe. Really, really would appreciate that. 10 likes is the aim for this video. Please have a Merry Christmas, and I'm wishing you guys all a green arrow. I will drop my team selection video tomorrow. Just want to let you guys sit on this one, and but I'll see you with my team selection video tomorrow. So I'll see you guys, and there's some content for you to enjoy.